Hi, in this video on BeagleBoard with OpenCV and Python, I want to focus on changing the color space, and for changing the color space I will use this image, the colored one. And last time I managed to reach this result, but since so much more fun exists in OpenCV, I'm changing color space. For this I'm using particularly HSV, UE, saturation and value. Therefore I take HSV and I define it as DST5, which is this picture, BGR to HSV. Then I have to define a color, and the color is in HSV. However, what values to take? So I have started the GIMP software, and using a blank image, new image, I can take a color, and as you can see here are HSV and RGB. So with these slides I can see in here what the color becomes. So if I slide V, it becomes dark. So this V value should be 100. Saturation has to be 0. As you can see. Then UE, and UE can be anything between 0 and 360. So going back to the software, we get 0, 0, 100 and 360, 0, 100. So that is the white range. Then I have to mask to get only the white color using in range HSV, and then lower right and upper right. Then a bitwise AND, and the bitwise AND is to apply the mask, and according to the manual it is DST. You have to use the image here, so I use DST 5, this one. Mask is mask, since I called it mask, and then I say okay, that will be DST 8. And DST8 is logical since the last one I use here is DST7. So let's see what happens. I save it. I process it. Which is no problem, and then let's see. Okay, let's restart this, because this is called proc 17. and I forgot something. It shows all black, which is not entirely the way I imagined. But let me first do this. So there is something to correct here. And when I threshold it for white, maybe I have defined the range wrong. So I will go check on the possible mistakes I've made. And after some further investigation, I found out that these arrays are not HSV, but they are actually BGR, blue, green, red. So the blue has to be between, let's say, 155 let's say 160 and 255. So I change this here. Then if I take this, it has to be 255. This has to be 255. So white and white-ish. Let's just say between these two yellowish. Let's say between 200 and 255. I think that is a wise and the others need to be 255. So let's experiment with that. See what the result that is. It still gives all black, so apparently not the exact correct answer. And the point is that this is a bitwise AND with HSV with the mask and the original image, so that should be alright. Let's further check on the white range, because this clearly has to be 255, this too, and this has a range blue, green and red. And then we assume, wait, this has to be 255. Yes, not 155, 255. Let's try again. Typos can always happen. And still is completely black. So let's do some further checking of the code. And once again, to make sure that every step is being done okay, I will write once again the results. So put here mask and mask. This stays the same. And let's see what actually happens. So once again, this is the original image. Why is this not going okay? Okay, so let's quit this. It's completely black. So here is something weird going on, because you should see threshold to get only white, and that is not happening. So that gives thought to the idea that these values are not correct after all. And that would be strange, since I'm taking here BGR, this is white, this is white, and here, well, let's say it's yellowish. So let's say 195 for blue, which isn't too much different from 200, assuming that once again it is really blue, green, red. One way to find out. Mask is completely black, as is this one. So apparently here is still something wrong. Oops. And here is the threshold being made, lower right and upper right is being written, and here the bitwise and between the mask and the original image, which is DST5. So right now I have to find out where this goes wrong, and that proves to be an interesting thing. Let's try once again, although not necessary actually, because, well, let's just restart. Maybe there is something. mask is completely black, HSV is completely black. So once again, something to find out, and an experiment not going entirely as expected. But then again, what is the fun of an experiment going immediately correct? That's no fun. Anyway, I think this is the first step in another experiment on getting OpenCV correct and working. The former step, like I had this, took several attempts, and likely this will take several attempts as well, maybe the next attempt, who knows. Anyway, I think the problem lies here, but we'll see next time. So for now, thank you for watching, and to be continued.